All right, so we're back for part 2, and my sister will be asking our questions that we will openly discuss.
And we wanted to do it a little differently since I feel like these are a lot of questions that people might have. So, how do you guys feel about Proverbs in general?
Me personally, in this day and age, Proverbs in general is hard to take. You have to think about a lot of ways that you act, and when you're looking at it in a different light, you're more like, wow, like I really haven't been living right. Not that I'm gonna eat my vomit after I do it, but I'm saying that it's hard. There's a lot of ways, a lot of things that you have to change on how you behave and how you treat other people, and basically how you talk in order to be, have that wisdom and have that character that God expects us to have.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
I feel like my viewpoint is different.
I can agree to what my mom said. For me, I feel like it definitely is. I feel like it's more like difficult to read it and then like reflect on it, right? Because it's like, well, as they say in my version, is folly, right? Like I'm that folly person because I'm speaking in the way that I sometimes speak or act the way that I act sometimes obviously doesn't represent the Lord. And I feel like Proverbs definitely makes you reflect on that every day for 31 days that we've been reading.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, like I read it and I read it and I look at my husband like, dang, I'm a fool. But I also feel like when I read Proverbs for the first time, I took it differently in a sense where like I feel like we're all, when you're a mom or just in life, you everybody says like there's no rule book to this, right? There's no how to this and things like that. And for me, when I read Proverbs, all I could think about was like, wow, the Lord loves us so much that this is what He put out for us. And obviously that's the whole Bible, but that's how I took Proverbs, because you're literally telling me what not to do, and that's the same thing our parents do, right? Like how you got to tell us like stop acting like that, and so for me it's like the Lord is doing that for us, and I think that's what made me digest Proverbs a lot better. Yeah. Are we done with that question? Yeah. So question 2 is, after reading Proverbs 31, how do you feel you fit the role as a Proverbs 31 woman?
You can start.
Should I go first? Or you don't want to go first?
No, when you're reading it and you're looking at this woman making bedspreads and waking up in the morning, and she's not only did she cook breakfast for the household and has made them bedspreads, she's gone ahead and even made clothing for them, and now she's about to go to the merchant and sell, I don't know, jars of honey or whatever else. It's almost an impossibility to be that woman, biblically speaking. And I think it's, wow, like how do I get there? How can I do so many things?
So would you say that you feel like you don't fit that mold, or what do you feel in you fits the role?
I mean, I provide for I make sure that my husband is taken care of to the best of my ability. I'm not out here sewing him a blanket to keep him warm.
Right, but in today's world, we wouldn't have to sew blankets.
And I
go buy one.
Yeah, but when exactly, I'm buying a few from Amazon.
Right,
but
Amazon Prime.
To me, it's just it's wow, the role that the woman does play at home is totally different than quite possibly what we've always thought of the role of a woman at home.
And for you?
I feel like it's achievable in a sense of the way like she's hardworking, she maintains her household. I feel like in today's world we can do that. It just looks a little bit different than how it looked for them at the time. But I do think it's
how do you feel like you
hard.
Fit the role? That's the question.
How do I think I fit the role?
Yeah. So the second question is, how do you feel that you fit the role of a Proverbs 31 woman? So when you think of that, how do you feel like in your marriage you are that?
I feel I am that because, I mean, I do serve my husband. I serve in general. Like, I put it out there that I want to serve the Lord in everything that I do. So I'm serving at church. I'm serving at home. I maintain my house as much as I can. I do work a full-time job, so it's hard to, like,
20 kids.
right. And it's hard to, like, work full-time, maintain your home. So, like, I struggle with that a little bit, but I try my best every day.
Yeah. So for me, how fitting this role is, I do cater to my husband the best as I can. But I do feel like it's always a learning thing, right? So there's times that I have to correct myself. So that's what goes into being a fool sometimes, where you do something and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. So, especially, so oddly enough, she's been married the longest. And then we're newly married. So yeah,
Her year anniversary is May, and her year anniversary is in August.
Yes. So there's a learning as well, because we're also like, you a new season brings a new, like, beginning for yourself. So I feel like I fit the role in certain aspects, like the hardworking part. I feel like I'm in that because I've always been hardworking. My husband starts at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm up because I have to feed my baby, but I'm not waking up to make egg sandwich.
Yeah, I don't get up.
I love him, but no. So there's certain aspects that I do feel like I fit that role, but still work in progress and learning. So okay, so the next question is, do you think it's harder to be that type of woman now in days, or was it harder then?
I can answer that first because we had this conversation. But for me, I definitely think it's harder to fit this role today because I feel like inflation is real and we need two working people in order to survive. So again, like, if I was a stay-at-home mom, I think it'd be easier to kind of fit the role a little bit more just because I'm home all the time, so I can do a little bit more for my husband than I can right now because he works early, I work, and then I just need a little bit extra sleep to get the kids ready for school and stuff like that. So waking up early, like, I definitely feel like the world just conditions us a little bit different today than it did then. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just different.
Yeah, I feel like for the environment that plays, right? So like nowadays, there's a lot of homes that don't have both parents. So you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to be that woman because now if you're a woman that's a single mom, you also take that masculine role. So
right.
It's a harder aspect. But back then, obviously, like, they were in the house doing whatever while their husbands were fishing and things like that. So it was a lot easier for them to go about this.
Yeah. If we're talking about that time when Proverbs was written, very easy. A woman would not have been married until it was that time. We're living in a time when we're in other relationships. We're probably having kids outside of marriage or whatever, and then you find that person and you get married. And now we have to adjust to be a married wife as opposed to a woman that's in a relationship with her boyfriend and she has kids. So could we possibly be that type of biblical wife? No, there's so many baggage that we bring into a marriage because we don't, what I'm saying? There's so much to it. Oh, submit to your husband, and women interpret that differently. There's a different role because of our lifestyles, probably prior to a marriage. You know what I'm saying? People don't meet, date, have no relationships until they get married. Most people are.
Yeah, back then they didn't.
Right, biblically, there was no dating.
There was no dating.
I wish it was like
there
that
was
today.
courtship. No, there was courtship.
Yeah, but there's courtship, but courtship not. You didn't have other boyfriends. Like,
right,
I just
you're
had
going to be
children.
bestowed to this person.
Oh yeah,
I had children from somebody else. Had a relationship
from your parents were different, but I think that
but to become a Proverbs 31 wife.
Yeah.
I think we should move on now because it's 9 minutes and 34 seconds.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this question first and then go to the fourth question because I think that the order would be better. So before you read Proverbs 31, what did you think a biblical woman was?